video, I would use it as an excuse to basically give a recap for the D&D campaign that I've been running for the Gaming Society at university. It's a good excuse, and it gives me some vaguely interesting content, I guess. It was the 10th year since the assassination of King Stenedas of Thyalas at the peace talks that he had been using to attempt to forge a lasting peace between his aggressive naval nation and the rest of the countries on Thesia. In an attempt to placate Thyalas after the killing, and to prevent an all-out war, the 8 most implicated nations capitulated to the wrathful country's demands, and each sent a tribute every 2 years of one young person between the ages of 18 and 25 who were never seen again after they arrived in Thyalas. This is where our story begins, with Prince Castor, the son of Stenedas' successor and cousin King Pelias, going to collect each of the 8 tributes from the nearest port. There was a great variety among the tributes, some of whom were criminals and dregs of society, and others were just looking to investigate what had happened to the previous tributes. The 8 were Carpos, an Icenian Tico ranger, Agathon, a Rimaean Varro bard, Arian, a Corlean human sorcerer, Atlas, an Ilitian Sismon cleric of Heliopa, Davin, a Magran Daemon warlock, Avel, a Palinthian Nona rogue, Hephaeus, a Kiritan Nona artificer, and Darius, a Garosan Tico paladin. During their journey back to Thyalas, the prince got along well with all of the tributes, but was particularly amused by Arian's magic tricks played on other members of the crew, and grew particularly close to the young sorcerer. Just a day's sail away from Thyalas itself, the ship was attacked by several strange Varro cultists, who the crew and the tributes fended off with relative ease. Soon enough, the tributes docked in the Thyalan capital, where they met with King Pelias and the rest of his court, and were feasted like kings themselves. Each member of the group found different clues to the mystery of the missing tributes. Scratches under a desk, speaking of something that wails in the night, the king being cagey about their predecessors, and forbidding anyone else to talk to them about it. The group were told that they would find out more about their fate at midday the next day. During the night, several members of the group were woken by a strange wailing in the night, and woke up the rest of the group, and they all went to investigate the creature that made the noise. However, they were cut short in this by the fact that the key to the door they needed to get through was only held by the prince. In an attempt to capitalise on the affection that the other man held for him, Arian went to the prince, but was unable to find a way of getting the key from him, and instead ended up laying with him as the other tributes headed back to bed. After breakfast the next morning, the group of tributes were allowed some time to prepare before being led by the prince through the door that they had been unable to get through the night before, and being taken down to an arena far beneath the castle, where a pool with bones along the shore was waiting for them. Upon investigating, the tributes realised that these bones were those of their predecessors, and wondered what could have done this. High above, the royals and nobility of Thyalas looked upon the scene unfolding beneath them, and watched under heavy guard. Davin the warlock was at the water's edge, looking around, when he got hit by a harpoon and pulled into the water by a mysterious creature, which knocked him unconscious and dragged him back onto land as it revealed itself. At first glance, the creature appeared to be just a monstrous humanoid fish person with big beefy arms and entirely covered in bits of bone and rusted armour. But on closer inspection, a more horrifying truth revealed itself. On the creature's torso was the face of a Varro man who was pleading for death and saying to the king, "Cousin, it doesn't have to be this way." The creature raised its arms, and the skeletons of the former tributes all came to life and started attacking the party alongside it. The fight between the group and the monsters was long and difficult, with several members of the party being felled by the creatures, but being saved at the last minute by their compatriots. Eventually, the last creature fell, and the party was safe. until the guards from above started raining crossbow bolts down upon them. The group was only saved by the intervention of the prince, who opened the door behind them and helped them get to safety on the ship that they had arrived on. He explained during their flight from Thyalas that the fish monster had in fact been his father's predecessor, King Stenedas, who had been returned to life by the god Kymane during his funeral rites, but also cursed into the form that the party had slain. The prince didn't want war any more than Stenedas had, but his father Peleus was determined to use the assassination to cause one. Prince Castor even suspected that his father had been involved in the assassination, but had no full proof of this to bring to anyone else. The group sailed to Megros, doing their best to hide from Thyalan patrols who were using the excuse of the tributes having kidnapped the prince to search for them. When the party arrived in Megros, they were taken into protective custody by the Prime Minister herself, who, after hearing their story, decided to set about creating a conference between all of the different nations to prepare for war with Thyalas. After a day or so, she released the party into the custody of Davin's parents, who were wealthy noble merchants, and kept the prince in strict custody herself. The party has gotten up to many shenanigans while waiting for the conference to be organised, but what will their fate be? So that's how my players are getting on. I am still working out what's next for them, but let me know in the comments down below if you've got any suggestions, or if you are one of my players, maybe just, let me know what you think we might get up to next. I hope that you enjoyed this video, and that you remember to like and share it, and subscribe to my channel. Click on the thumbnails down below to see other videos by me, and I will see you guys next time. Bye!